And in the Bible, in some verses like the ones in Isaiah, the ones in Proverbs, have given injunctions for people not to take strong drinks. But some people tend to use the scripture from Timothy, where Apostle Paul was telling Timothy, take a little wine for your stomach. So people feel like there isn't any concise and precise injunction from the Bible for people to stay away from these things. So that is why we as Latter-day Saints we say, oh, we believe in modern day revelation. We believe that God still reveals His teachings to us, follow our leaders. As for me, I've chosen to obey this law. So I obey the word of wisdom.
Simply promise. And you.
Hello, you're welcome to Simply Promise and You. So today I want to talk about something that um, many people keep asking me each time we go out. I am currently at a coffee shop, and from the implication of the name, it means that this is where coffee or caffeinated drinks are being sold. But if you're new to this channel, please ensure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I remember promise. So one of the questions that I keep getting from people, friends, acquaintances, is something that I have gotten so used to. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and as members, we have this health code that we are expected to abide. And what is that question? The question is, why is it that you don't take this? What is this? It's coffee. I will explain why we don't take coffee. Um, like I said earlier, we have a teaching that is known as the word of wisdom. The word of wisdom is a commandment that was given to our first prophet, the prophet Joseph Smith. So, in that commandment, we were given laws or principles that we are expected to obey. So, what the word of wisdom basically addresses um, or gives principles that can help us to maintain a healthy body. Without a healthy body, you cannot have a healthy mind. And when your body is not healthy, it can affect your spirit in the sense that you always become negative because anyone that is very, very sick at the mercy of their sickness. And when sickness happens, if you don't really protect your mind, you might fall spiritually. But for us as members of the church, um, we keep getting these questions being asked at us. Oh, why you guys don't take this? You guys don't take coffee. What is wrong with coffee? It's okay. Since you are students, it can help you stay awake. Yeah, I get some of these concerns from people. So, like I was saying, this word of wisdom was given to the prophet Smith to address this concern. And coffee is not the only thing that we are asked to not take. There are things like alcohol, tobacco, which includes cigarettes, even e-cigarette, that's vape, and even tea. Um, these are some of the things that we are being asked to avoid. And medical science has so far proven that alcohol is not really good for the body. Prior to the time of Joseph Smith, there wasn't really any general consensus on that, whether alcohol is good for the body or not. And in the Bible, in some verses like the ones in Isaiah, the ones in Proverbs, have given injunctions for people not to take strong drinks. But some people tend to use the scripture from Timothy, where Apostle Paul was telling Timothy, take a little wine for your stomach. So people feel like there isn't any concise and precise injunction from the Bible for people to stay away from these things. So that is why we as Latter-day Saints we say, oh, we believe in modern day revelation. We believe that God still reveals His teachings to us. So that was why the Lord revealed and gave the church a definite answer to these life questions. And one of those things that we are then asked to avoid is coffee or, or tea. So that is why, in as much as I am at a coffee shop now, as my friend here is, I have someone beside me that is taking coffee, but I'm not. I decided not to take it because the church and the Lord wants us not to be addicted to certain things. You know, coffee can be very, very addictive and it is a mind stimulant. And as a nursing student, I've noticed that most of the things that we have been taught that are risk factors to certain diseases are things that people do on their own, like sedentary lifestyle. I've noticed that most of the risk factors or things that can predispose people to certain sicknesses or illnesses are alcohol. That's why most people have been told, oh, don't take alcohol. Alcohol is not good for you. And sometimes I've also noticed, or should I say most times, one of the risk factors have always been coffee. Don't take coffee for this, don't take coffee for this. So the Lord is a very, very wise God. So that is why He doesn't want us to become slaves to our appetites. So that is why the Lord doesn't want us to be addicted to some of these things. And there is a growing consensus that some of these things are not really good. Like I said earlier, before the time of the prophet Joseph Smith, there wasn't a general consensus on the effects of alcohol. So that is why we, as members of the Church of Jesus Christ, and we don't take coffee, we don't take things. And that word of wisdom that I made mention about isn't just a commandment of don'ts and do's. It is a commandment that is given to us that would reawaken our spiritual receptors so we can be able to commune with heaven. So that is why if you go to the US today, the religion that has the most healthy uh, individuals in the US today is the Mormon Church or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So that is why we keep saying that we thank God for prophets. And today we have a current prophet, Mr. M. Nelson, who receives more revelations for us. So that's it. So that is the reason why I'm not taking coffee. You see these guys, once again, I'm not gonna take it. But my friend will take it because I cannot impose my views and my teachings on him. So that is just it. And that commandment can be found in our canon of scriptures called Doctrine and Covenants, section 89. So if you read Doctrine and Covenants, section 89, you find out where the Lord told us things to avoid and not avoid. So as for the coffee, I'm sorry. No, I'm not going to take coffee. But there are other alternatives. I can take other beverages that are good for me. But anything that is very, very addictive, we have to avoid it. So the question is, do later essence take coffee? No, we don't. We are not asked to take it. But that does not mean that the church would force you to obey these principles. The church does not force anyone to abide by its principles. But here's the caveat. You are expected to do that. But when you don't obey this, there are certain restrictions that can be given to you. For example, we have what we call temple recommend. A temple recommend is an access that is given to every member of the church to enter into the temple, which is the house of the Lord. So in one of the for you to get that temple recommend, you have to face your presiding officers or the leaders in the world, probably the bishop or his councillors or the state president or their councillors. They will ask you questions on the word of wisdom if you are abiding by this principle. So if you are found wanting, your leaders will ask you to take your time and work towards becoming better because the church wants you to go into the temple clean because the temple is a very clean place. But we cannot tell you what to do. But if you want to go into temple, you have to obey this principle. Where there are laws, I know there are people that will obey and disobey. And as members of the church, we are asked to obey and follow our leaders. As for me, I've chosen to obey this law. So I obey the word of wisdom. That is why I'm looking healthy. So if you're new to this channel, just make sure you drop your subscribe button and subscribe. And if you have contrary views concerning what I've said earlier, just let me know. I remember your humble his promise.